Tonight at 5, hear from a local mother who says a teacher gave her autistic son dog food as a meal at school. And we are tracking not one but two chances for snow or rain-snow mix as we look to the end of the month of February. We've got all the details in the full forecast.
Plus a shooting that led to a car crash in Blooming Grove. Whether sheriff deputies have anyone in custody. And
you're watching News 3 Now at 5. And good evening. Thanks for staying with us.
We're continuing with that breaking news that we first brought you on Live at 4. News 3 Now's crew on the scene saw a man being taken into custody in the area of a standoff at a hotel on Hayes Road. Police have not yet confirmed that this is the person involved in the standoff. That man was barricaded in the hotel since earlier this afternoon. We'll keep you updated as soon as police give us more information.
Well, now to the weather. Clouds are expected to move in tonight ahead of a wintry mix.
Meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us now with the timing of that. Blaze?
That's right. The first of two chances for, at the very least, a wintry mix moves in on Tuesday. Maybe a few flurries tonight as those clouds return. But for the most part, we're going to hold off on that accumulating snow, and I use that term very loosely, until we head into the late morning hours through at least the mid-afternoon on Tuesday. We're going to watch as that eventually turns over to a rain-snow mix because temperatures on Tuesday climbing above freezing into those mid to upper 30s to the low 40s. So at some point, that snow is going to turn over to at least a light rain-snow mix. Overnight, as Susan mentioned, we are expecting those clouds to move on in further to the north and west, Camp Douglas across. Maybe Baraboo, certainly a chance for Watoma. We squeeze out a few flurries. We are looking at another chance for snow Wednesday night into Thursday. Who could be impacted? How much snow we could see? And when the 50s return. All that in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. And new details about a stabbing that happened on Madison's west side last night. A teenager now in custody. This happened on Grand Canyon Drive near the Beltline. Officers arrived on scene about 8:15 when they say they saw someone running from the building. They were able to catch and arrest him. Madison police say he's just 17 years old. Police say the victim was hurt trying to break up an argument between the suspect and someone else. The victim is expected to survive. The suspect facing a charge of first-degree recklessly endangering safety.
Now to a shooting that led to a car accident in Dane County.
The News 3 Now, Sarah Carlson joins us now with where it happened and what we know about the extent of the victim's injuries here. Sarah?
Susan and Eric, the Dane County Sheriff's Office tells us a 24-year-old Madison man is in the hospital after he was shot Sunday night in the town of Blooming Grove. At about 7:20, the victim was driving south on Gannon Avenue when a sedan sped up behind him. Officials say when the victim began turning into Fury Avenue, he was then shot. That led him to crash his car. Officials say the victim ran to a nearby home for help, and he was taken to the UW hospital for his injuries. As of right now, the Sheriff's Office has not made any arrests, but they are asking anyone with information about this shooting to please contact the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. And News 3 Now will continue to keep you updated on this story over the air and online at channel3000.com. Susan, Eric?
Sarah, thank you. One person is in custody in connection to a death investigation in Walworth County. The Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to Pine Court in Elkhorn at about 7:30 Saturday night. They found two men bloody and fighting inside of a home. After separating them, the men were taken to the hospital. And while searching the home, officers found a woman dead in one of the rooms. The Sheriff's Office says this was an isolated incident and there is no threat to the community.
Well, family without a home after a fire yesterday afternoon on Madison's southeast side where crews responded to Valor Way. It was about 4:30 Sunday for reports of smoke and a fire in that home. Crews were able to knock flames down before going inside where they found a dog. Now, the Madison Fire Department says the dog is okay and no one from the family was home during that fire, but there is significant damage and the family can't stay there. The cause remains under investigation.
Right now, the U.S. is warning Americans in Mexico to shelter in place after the killing of that country's most wanted cartel boss. One of the groups caught in the chaos is a Rotary Club from Wisconsin. Members of the Unalaska Hilltopper Rotary Club near La Crosse were in Puerto Vallarta for a water filter distribution project. They woke up to car fires and military helicopters and are now sheltering in place at their resort.
Saw a couple fires, smoke in the air, and didn't think much of it. saw a gentleman who had come up to us, and he's saying, "Vámonos, vámonos, go, go." So I hightailed it back. Came back to kind of see what's happening in the hotel. There wasn't really anybody saying anything, but you could see and sense something was happening.
The group was supposed to return yesterday, but flights are canceled. The U.S. Embassy is providing updates on the situation.
Voters living in the Portage Community School District will find a referendum on their ballots in April. Now, the district set to ask for a maximum of $3.7 million. That's over each of the next 3 school years. That's $11.1 million total. But district officials say it will not further increase tax rates since they are only asking voters to continue an increase that they've already approved. The district says it needs the money because it isn't getting enough state aid.
President Trump is doubling down on tariffs after the United States Supreme Court ruled against him.
News 3 Now's political reporter Ellie LaLiberte spoke to Wisconsin farmers today about how the president's reaction could impact them.
After the Supreme Court ruling that wiped out some of President Donald Trump's tariffs, he announced he'd be raising global tariffs to 15%. But what does that mean for Wisconsin farmers? Well, the answer I keep getting is uncertainty.
So trying to get back into that rebuilding mode right now.
Darren Van Ruden is the president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union and a dairy farmer himself. He says because of tariffs, farmers have received less money for the products they produce, but at the same time have to pay more for what they need to make those products.
There are a bunch of the inputs that farmers have, like seed, fertilizer, equipment, parts, labor, anything that had aluminum and steel in it. Those were all cost us more last year.
He says now he's trying to lock in prices ahead of the upcoming growing season.
But, it gets real hard to do when there's so much uncertainty.
Reporting in Juneau County, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Now, the president raised the tariffs using a specific section of the Trade Act of 1974, and they can only remain in effect for 150 days.
Less than a week after Assembly Speaker Robin Vos announced his retirement, the race to replace him is getting underway. Union Grove President Steve Wickland is running for Vos's seat. Wickland enters the race as a Republican and is the first to declare candidacy for Vos's spot. In addition to being the village president, Wickland works as chair of the Racine County Intergovernmental Cooperation Council.
Well, now to a developing story at Madison East High School. A mother says a staff member fed her autistic son dog food instead of school lunch.
Our Tanasia Shaw is here with more. And Tanasia, we understand the student involved here is nonverbal.
Yes, and the mom told me staff gave her 15-year-old son the can of dog food. Now she wants to hold staff at Madison East accountable, and we also heard from Madison school officials.
You can't be safe at school. Where could you be safe at?
That's Deborah Hawk's reaction after she learned what her son had for lunch.
If it was an accident, it can't be an accident.
Hawk's son, Jaden Hawks, is a freshman at Madison East. He has autism and is nonverbal. Deborah said a few weeks ago, staff sent her this picture.
He looked like he ate a little bit of something, at least 3, 4, 5 bites.
Staff also called Deborah, confirming someone gave Jaden this can of dog food for lunch.
And then when you give it to him, you give an autistic child a can that he could cut himself with a plastic fork and a can. You might as well gave him a metal fork if you're gonna give him a metal can. How is that an accident?
Jaden is usually nice and energetic, but after this incident, his moods have changed.
Jaden has been himself.
According to Deborah, she visited East every day for roughly a week to get answers. On Thursday, staff told Deborah that the person that gave Jaden the dog food was fired.
You don't need to work with nobody that is dependent, that needs somebody to depend on him.
News 3 Now can't share the name of the staff member since Madison School District did not confirm that person's involvement. Deborah wants staff involved to know how they hurt her family.
Even seeing this picture, how do you feel?
My heart hurt. My heart is broke. I feel like I don't got no control over what happens to my own kid.
The Madison School District said they cannot comment on students or employees because of privacy concerns, but they are investigating this situation. They also sent me a statement saying in part, quote, "We take all safety-related concerns extremely seriously, and this one is no exception. We will determine next steps following the outcome of our investigation."
Tanasia, thank you. And to receive updates about this story and all other developing news directly to your phone, download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Still ahead at 5, our Spirit of Service campaign kicks off today.
How you can help be part of us honoring a local veteran who is doing something good in their community.
Plus, southern Wisconsin hasn't seen a lot of snow in recent weeks. That could change. Blaze is back. A full picture of your first warn forecast.
On Wall Street today, uncertainty around tariffs led to the worst day for the Dow in a month, down 822 points at the close. The NASDAQ falls 259. The S&P 500 loses 72. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
Heads up for people living on Madison's near west side. You have the opportunity tonight to meet your alder. There is a meet and greet at the Midtown Police District. It's happening from 6 to 8. Regina Vitiver for District 5, Bill Tischler for District 11, and Tag Evers for District 13 will all be there. You'll be able to ask questions and share your ideas with them. And if you're interested, you can find more details on the City of Madison website. You must RSVP, though, for the event.
And nominations are officially open on channel3000.com for the Spirit of Service 2026 award. News 3 Now and Vortex Optics once again teaming up to recognize our veterans who continue to serve their communities long after their time in uniform. The Spirit of Service award honors local veterans who take action, whose actions make a meaningful and positive impact across southern Wisconsin. The award designed to spotlight individuals who embody leadership, generosity, and a commitment to giving back.
And that's what we love to highlight and honor and recognize. These people have given so much of their lives to service for our country. And like you said, that doesn't end. That's a part of who they are, and they come back and they're doing incredible work within their own communities. And we're just happy to honor that and recognize that.
You're encouraged to nominate a deserving veteran by sharing their story online. Just head to channel3000.com. Nominations will be accepted through March 22nd, and Vortex will narrow down those nominations to a final 5. We'll share each of those stories, and then you'll get a chance to vote for your favorite. A winner will be selected and then announced on April 15th.
The Department of Natural Resources is accepting art entries for the Wild Turkey, Pheasant, and Waterfowl Stamp Design Contests. Every year, local artists across the state submit designs for the stamps that hunters buy to legally harvest Wisconsin's game birds. The DNR says selling these stamps generates hundreds of thousands of dollars every year for species management throughout Wisconsin. You have to submit your work by August 1st to be considered. The winning designs will appear on the 2027 collection of stamps.
Turning down to weather, cooler today and sunny, but a wintry mix is on the way.
Could be worse. We could be in Boston.
Yeah, don't want to be buried by that.
Friends and family on the East Coast are getting buried today. Blaze, will any of that affect the commute tomorrow?
Our wintry mix, it may. Certainly the evening commute. The morning commute will be on the quieter side, maybe a few flurries, but the evening could be dealing with, at the very least, a rain-snow mix, because even though we are going to be dealing with that mix, temperatures will be climbing into the upper 30s to low 40s as we go into Tuesday. We'll eventually climb into those 50s as we look to end the work week, the last full week of February, before we head into the start of March. So let's jump future track ahead into Tuesday, possibly squeezing out a few flurries through the early morning hours. Again, should not impact your morning commute. We kind of dry out before the second round of precipitation moves through as we move into the early to mid-afternoon hours through at least the late afternoon, early evening. So here's at 4 o'clock Tuesday, still dealing with, at the very least, a light rain snow mix. This will wrap up by the time we go into 7, 8 o'clock, and then we'll be quiet for the rest of Tuesday night into Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, we kind of flip who gets the bigger impacts or who has the chance for the most impacts. We now turn our attention to southwestern Wisconsin. Tomorrow's greatest area of impact, northeast. tomorrow, Wednesday, south and west. This could possibly not really impact anybody outside of Crawford, Grant, western parts of Richland, Lafayette, and Iowa counties. Some of our models want to keep this more into Iowa. I think this is maybe just trying to push that further into parts of southwestern Wisconsin. Regardless, between Tuesday's chance and Wednesday night's chance, we're not going to pick up a whole lot of snow. Tuesday's chance, again, further north and east, looking at best, an inch of snow. Further to the south and west, Wednesday night into Thursday, even if this were to push its way more into southwestern Wisconsin, we're likely only going to pick up about maybe 2 inches of snow. An isolated spot of 3, possibly 4, could be possible. This is going to be a clipper system Wednesday night into Thursday, so there's not going to be a lot of moisture for that system to use. Certainly not that far away from Lake Michigan. And then, of course, Tuesday's mess is going to be really limited to northeastern Wisconsin. We could likely pick up maybe an inch. But as I mentioned, a lot of that snow is going to melt because our temperatures are going to get into the upper 30s to low 40s on Tuesday. Wisconsin, it's been a very interesting month for us. We carried a lot of snow over from January, and most of Wisconsin, once we get into these darker greens, that's where we've picked up at least 5 to 6 inches of snow. But, and maybe we could take this full screen if possible. If not, those of us in Dane County, especially Greene County and Rock County, where we get that orange, that's not even a half an inch of snow for the month so far. And you can see the bullseye of who has not had snow this month compared to our neighbors just a few counties away. Vernon County picking up a healthy amount of snow as we ended last week. So depending on where you're at, it's certainly been a lackluster month in terms of snow for Wisconsin. As Susan mentioned last hour, this is our 4th least snowiest February to date for the Madison area in over 150 years. We'll get a little bit there tomorrow and maybe Wednesday. But in terms of really racking up that near 13 inches of snow we normally get, I don't see it in the cards in the next 3 to 4 days. Could squeeze out a little bit more snow there to officially end February and kick off March Sunday into next Monday, but those are several days away, so let's enjoy the upper 30s to low 40s tomorrow, then the 50s on Friday.
In February, we haven't even had an inch of snow,
No,
right?
not in Madison, but you know, folks in Vernon County, just to our north and west, they've had plenty of snow, several inches, almost a foot in some spots. So. Yeah, just that late week system really did do a number on some of us. Speaking of weather, the First Ward Weather Team, myself, Jacob, Savannah, and Alex have been working on an informative and exciting weather special set to air here on Wednesday. It is time to get ready for severe weather season. So we're calling this Severe Weather Ready. And this features how watches and warnings are issued, the latest research on southern Wisconsin's severe weather season, what goes into issuing alert days, and how the First Ward Weather Team conducts severe weather drills to always be ready to use in the latest severe weather event. So that airs this coming up Wednesday or next Wednesday at 6:30. And I hope you guys enjoy it. We put a lot of effort into it, and we want to make sure that you guys are informed ahead of our severe weather season.
I know you even tell your own personal story last year about being on air in severe weather, a tornado coming right for your own family, which is always tough to juggle.
Very scary, but yes, I mentioned that and weave it into how we use a bunch of tools here to keep all families, including our own, safe during severe weather events.
Looking forward to it, please. Thank you. Well, while Wisconsin isn't seeing snow right now, we were just talking about this, a big storm, a nor'easter, is working its way through part of the country.
That's quite a mess. We'll tell you where it's hitting and how many people are under blizzard warnings just ahead on News 3 Now at 5.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Moving forward.
In national news now, we're learning of another deadly strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean. U.S. Southern Command carrying out a strike today. It killed 3 people on a boat. Officials say a designated terrorist group operated the vessel, and intelligence confirmed the boat was moving along a known drug trafficking route. Now, this is the 7th vessel that the military hit this year alone. The ongoing campaign has now killed more than 150 people, and that dates back to last year.
In Los Angeles, the double homicide case against Nick Reiner will move forward. The son of Rob and Michelle Reiner pleading not guilty in their deaths earlier today. Reiner appeared in a brown prison garb behind a clear partition in court this morning. He spoke only to answer a judge's question. Notably, he was not wearing a suicide prevention smock that he had on in December, days after his parents' bodies were found in their home. Prosecutors have not yet decided what punishment they will seek.
We have invited defense counsel to present to us, both in writing and orally in a meeting, any arguments that they would like to make in consideration for our going forward or not going forward with the death penalty.
Reiner is still being held without bail. He's due back in court at the end of April.
Historic blizzard conditions are slamming the Northeast, where many areas are seeing major snowfall, powerful winds and extreme snow knocking out power, making travel there nearly impossible. 30 million people are currently under blizzard warnings in places like Babylon, that's on Long Island. Residents are seeing record accumulations of, get this, at least 30 inches of snow. The storm too dangerous even for snow plows out there. You'll see one even ended up on its side after trying to clear some snow. The snowfall marks one of the 10 biggest storms ever in New York City history.
We are plowing streets and doing everything we can to keep our roadways clear so that emergency vehicles can get through. These are dangerous conditions.
And of course, not just the road conditions impacted here. Thousands of flights were grounded over the weekend.
And adding to the chaos at the nation's airports, confusion over the Department of Homeland Security's announcement that TSA PreCheck and global entry would be temporarily paused due to the partial government shutdown. DHS later reversed course and said TSA PreCheck expedited lines would continue operating following pushback from the airlines. But Global Entry's trusted traveler program remains suspended.
And stay with us. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break. Join us next hour on News 3 Now at 6. Our sports director, Andrew Banstra, joining us with how the Badger women's hockey team did in the WCHA tournament over the weekend, without, of course, 5 of their best players who just happened to be off collecting some gold over in Italy.
It was nice to see that sun today, but overnight maybe a little wintry mix that we've been talking so much about.
Yeah, clouds move on in tonight ahead of a wintry mix on Tuesday with more snow possible on Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Blaze, and thanks for watching, everybody, tonight at 5.
We'll see you back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.